once the seat of the Mughal Empire. It's home to one of the new 7 wonders of the world, the Taj Mahal, a symbol of love. Agra became the capital of the Mughal Empire because of its location on the banks of the Yamuna. The capital then moved to Delhi once again on the banks of the Yamuna. The river is witness to the growth of these two cities. But today, it's a different story. The river now carries all the pollution from Delhi and Agra as it flows towards Prayagraj, where it will join with the Ganga at the Sangam. Can the Yamuna breathe again? Can Agra bring the Yamuna back to its former grandeur?
To this wonder of the world built in pure white marble. But when you go at the back and you look at the Yamuna flowing by, even with your naked eye, you can see spots of plastic swirling by.
Agra is a densely populated city. And it also plays hosts to tourists from across the world. Tourism is, of course, a major industry here, but Agra is also home to the footwear industry on a large scale. This creates a further load on the Yamuna and is one of the main reasons the UN Environment Programme selected Agra for their Countermeasures Initiative.
The project Countermeasure is the project that will promote the generation of new knowledge about how plastic is managed and potentially having the risk of leaking out into the natural water body and eventually becoming marine plastic litter.
UNEP partnered with the National Productivity Council to map hotspots for microplastic assessment and to collect locally cultivated data.
Here we are only collecting the sample, and in the laboratory we are segregating. We have a exclusively laboratory we have for microplastic study. We are doing all sort of samples. Now we are doing it here in the river, but we have done in the coastal, estuarine samples, and in the open ocean also.
The Environment Programme also partnered with Chintan to communicate the harm of microplastics and to explore alternatives to plastics.
This was one place where data and science and outreach were combined. And Chintan's job was to be able to take the idea and the term of microplastics and help people to really grasp why microplastics was such a problem and make shifts which were both institutional shifts as well as shifts in understanding of what pollution was from visual to the micro level, and make those shifts to reduce microplastics in the Ganges and eventually in our oceans.
Microplastic is being found in the tissue of fishes, firstly. Secondly, even the salt which we are having, even there we have found the traces of microplastic, and which gets consumed by us and then it is being deposited in our stomach.
प्लास्टिक ही प्लास्टिक, अब जनसंख्या से ज्यादा हो गई है प्लास्टिक की संख्या। हर जगह प्लास्टिक की बात है, जहाँ देखो प्लास्टिक ही प्लास्टिक प्लास्टिक। प्लास्टिक का यूज नहीं करना चाहिए। प्लास्टिक जरूरी नहीं है कि पॉलीथीन ही हो। प्लास्टिक की कोई भी वस्तु हो, उसे हमें कम यूज करना चाहिए।
At the center of this program were students, the youth, with creative seminars on single-use plastic to cleanliness drives and social experiments. They had clearly understood the urgency for such action and awareness.
The outreach activities help us in reaching out to a large population. When we contacted school, there were around 5,000 school students that we've contacted. When we went to communities, there were over 2,000 people that we've met in different residential areas.
There were mega events too, like the Taj Mahotsav, which brought all the stakeholders together and initiated multiple discussions around the subject.
अभी हम ताज महोत्सव में हैं और हम यहाँ पे प्लेज ले रहे हैं कि हम सिंगल यूज़ प्लास्टिक नहीं यूज़ करेंगे।
प्लास्टिक करो बैन तभी आए हमें चैन यूज करो जूट बैग चेंज करो अपना प्लान।
I'm quite impressed, particularly the catalytic role that youth are playing, but not just playing, how innovatively they're actually using a relevant message for communities to communicate.
I say no to single-use plastic.
No to single-use plastic.
No to single-use plastic.
So we were able to use science, make the linkages, and find stakeholders, for example, stakeholders like the guides, so that then they would talk to people who were tourists and explain why the ecosystem of fighting plastics is so important.
I was being trained to educate people, especially the tourists, not to use the single-use plastic, that is like especially the bottles or like you say the bags or like the cutlery, because it's too dangerous.
What we found in this project is that we can shape a future where lives and faith go hand in hand, and where livelihoods based on scientific progress do not have to destroy our life support systems.
We actually implemented a lot of cleanup activities as one major approach and methodology. We try to focus a lot on the public outreach of our efforts, and over the last 1 year, we were just doing some calculations. We've been able to touch a sizable number of population in India.
The solution lies in looking at each and every river and the habitations on the bank of the river, improving the processing of solid waste in these habitations, these cities, taking up various measures so that they do not get into the river system. We have sanctioned a project under Hybrid Annuity to construct 177 MLD capacity there. We already have some existing STPs in Agra, but this will really bring in complete capacity to treat whatever sewage gets generated, not only now but for next 15 years.
बहुत काम बदल गया, नहीं है पहले जैसे काम, बहुत कबाड़ी बढ़ गया है।
Waste pickers of Agra were a very important part of our solution, and from the lens that we had on, our solution for them was to find a profit in pulling out and preventing those plastics from going to the ecosystem.
As we know that plastic waste, it's not just a problem of Agra but the entire nation too. So there are many eco-friendly ways and alternatives to stop the usage of plastic. Firstly, stop using plastic bag, because this is the main cause of water pollution, sand pollution and land pollution. Next, we have to stop using straw because it includes a non-biodegradable substance. And thirdly, we have to use a stainless steel water bottle instead of using a plastic water bottles. And lastly, stop using and stop throwing a plastic waste in our rivers because it creates a negative impact in marine animals.
Our rivers have flowed for thousands of years and watched civilizations rise and fall on their banks. We owe it to these mighty rivers to allow them to regenerate, to come alive again.